What's poppin', guys? Garrchampion here. In today's video, we are going to be going over the team that I drafted for my current draft league, the GDL, Garrchampion's Draft League. This is a draft league that I'm hosting within my Discord community. So if you are interested for future draft leagues, join the Discord. Link will be below. So I am the official coach of the Levincia Lightning Rods. So I'm super hyped up about this. Everybody involved, super hyped up about this. You should be hyped up about this as well. So leave a like on this video and let's go over my team that I drafted. It's pretty nuts. Roll the intro. Okay, so before we get into my first pick, I did want to note that I was 5th to draft out of 14 people. And I think that was still a decent spot to draft because I got the 5th overall pick. So there's still a lot on the table when I went to draft my first. And then once it got down, because we did Snake, I was still able to get 2 Pokemon relatively close to each other. So I was content and I made it work. So my first pick was obviously Sneasler here, and my aim for my first pick was just to get somebody very fast and hits really hard. And Sneasler fits that mold very well. And just with its natural typing, it does have a lot of resistances, which is nice because it has piss poor defenses with very mediocre HP. So I really like Sneasler, and the abilities just make this Pokemon even better. Unburden puts it in just an unridiculous speed tier. Not unridiculous, absolutely ridiculous is what I meant to say. And then Poison Touch is also going to be fun as well because I get access to Fake Out and U-Turn, and those are just funny ways to get poison on somebody. So, yep, and Unburden is going to be relatively easy for me to access because I do have Terrain, which you guys will see later on in this video. And access to Close Combat White Herb combination. I think that is just such an easy way to set up with Unburden. And this Pokemon's going to be a threat. Hits like a freaking truck and very fast. So I'm excited to see how this Pokemon does for me and how well I can utilize it. So next up was the absolute staple of my entire team, Hisuian Zoroark. I've been just super excited to use this Pokemon because of its normal and ghost typing. And just look at that thing. That thing is just so freaking cool. It's our first time using it competitively. I mean, same as Sneasler. But yeah, so I was super excited to draft this, and I created a whole strategy around this. And a little bit of spoilers. I planned on drafting normal Zoroark as well, which paired really well with Sneasler and him, but I was unable to. It got picked up before I could draft it, which is fine. I still made it work. But yes, Hisuian Zoroark. I really like this Pokemon. Again, it has really nice typing with being normal and ghost. And the fact that I can use illusion to my advantage is always fun. And always makes people question, crap, is this the real Pokemon or not? Typical illusion strategies include being an illusion of a slow Pokemon. So you trick them into thinking that they will outspeed when they actually don't. And this speed tier is very nice. We are at 110, which is 5 base points faster than normal Zoroark. And so he's going to be able to outspeed a lot of things. So, and another strategy is to camouflage himself as a type that he is immune to. So in our case, if someone were to go for a fighting move on a Pokemon, I would be immune if I had a fighting weakness, you know? So, or a ghost attack or a normal attack. This Pokemon has 3 immunities, which is fantastic. So that's another trick of illusion, and building like a team around it is just definitely very fun. So I discussed the speed tier. It's sitting at 110 base, and that's pretty solid. Special attack is also really good at 125, and it's surprisingly a fairly decent physical attacker too. So I definitely do have some mixed sets that I could run with. Sitting at base 100. That's better than a lot of Pokemon that are normally known for being physical attackers, aka Talonflame, for example. Talonflame has very low physical attack. I think Zoroark has higher physical attack than Talonflame. You wouldn't think so, but it does. So yeah, I'm excited for the tricks that I can do with this Pokemon, and I just hope I can make it work. So let's go on to the next pick. So my third overall pick was again from the Hisui region, Kleavor. This Pokemon I really wanted as one of the staples of my team because I can use his signature move, Stone Axe, and set up Stealth Rocks while attacking. So this Pokemon's going to be pretty fun. We have Swarm, Sheer Force, and Sharpness as abilities. Sharpness will most likely be the one I use the most, just because it just boosts a lot of attacks. And Sheer Force negates effects of like a lot of my moves, so it's not really worth it. So its speed tier is fairly decent, sitting at 85. We do have access to agility, so that could be a fun set to utilize in the right situation. Our special defense is kind of poop. Special attack kind of poop, but we're not using him for anything special related. Physical defense is a little better, sitting at 95, and then attack at 135. So this thing is going to hit pretty hard. So far our team is not very bulky, but we do have a lot of power. So being able to utilize setting up rocks and attacking is going to be great. And it also gets access to defog. So it's also a hazard removal mon for the team. So yeah, I don't really have too much else to say other than I just really wanted this Pokemon, and I just had to keep the Hisuian theme going. So let's just jump into my fourth pick. All right, so my fourth pick was Haxorus, and for some reason I felt like I needed a setup sweeper, and I needed to prioritize that. So we got Haxorus here, and this Pokemon is a scary freaking Pokemon if left unchecked. It has a whopping 147 physical attack, which is nuts, and 97 speed. So it's not the fastest, but it's not the slowest either. But we do have access to Swords Dance and Scale Shot, so that speed can easily be fixed with a single Scale Shot. So that could make things very, very scary for my opponent. Mold Breaker will be nice for like Rotom forms if I wanted to Earthquake, or negating certain abilities that will be problematic. Earth Eater on, like Orthworm, for example. It just breaks immunities that normally wouldn't happen unless you had Mold Breaker. Rivalry could be used in certain scenarios where there's a certain gender form that was drafted. And if that Pokemon seems to be a threat, then I can just use Rivalry and boost my attack strength that way. And then Unnerve can be for teams or Pokemon that are berry reliant. So all these abilities are going to be pretty useful, and especially in different situations. So yeah, Haxorus is definitely a good setup sweeper. And it also has a very strong first impression too that most people forget about. So I do have good priority with this Pokemon as well, if I'm really in that pinch. So yeah, let's go to my fifth pick. All right, so my fifth pick, I was feeling a fire type for the team, and I was debating between either Hisuian Arcanine or Skeledirge, and we already had too many glass cannons on this team, so we needed some bulk, and so we went with Skeledirge. A very good Pokemon. It has really good type matchups with Hisuian Zoroark, so we can easily switch into ghost attacks. Well, not switch him into, but have Zoroark disguise himself into Skeledirge and be immune to those ghost attacks. So we have a good thing going right there. Okay, and then we also have another immunity to fighting types with our typing as well. So, and Unaware is gonna Unanware. I meant to say Unaware, so just ignore that little typo there. Unaware is going to be great for anti-setup Pokemon. We can Will-O-Wisp physical attackers. We can slack off and just be annoying. And then we can just sit there and keep boosting our special attack with Torch Song. So this thing can be a threat. You know, we have 110 base special attack, 100 defense, which is pretty solid. Special defense, 75 is mediocre, but we have 104 HP to back that up. So this Pokemon is going to be a good wall for the team, as well as a very powerful special attacker if left unchecked. All right, our sixth pick was the Salamence here. And at this point, I was kind of feeling overwhelmed because I was running the spreadsheet, I was running the Discord chat, also while working the voice chat for this draft, and I just felt overwhelmed. And so I kind of just picked this one. I really honestly don't know my thought process of why I picked this, but I know I did want an Intimidator as well as another sweeper. So I get a defensive tool out of this as well as a setup sweeper. So there's also like the defensive sets with Intimidate, defensive bulk investment, and so he can be a wall. But on the contrary, he can also be a setup sweeper. So my opponent's not going to know what I'm bringing until I send him in and they see the ability. You know, so like that's just going to be a threat that's going to linger in their head. Like, shoot, what is this Salamence? Is it a Scarf Moxie set? Is it a Dragon Dance set? Is it going to be a defensive? Or look at that special attack, 110. We just went over Skeledirge. Skeledirge had a 110 special attack, and that's his main attribute. Well, this is just his side thing. So it's 135 special physical attack and 110 special attack. That's nuts. This Pokemon's nuts. All right, so I can use him in so many different ways. And honestly, in that panic, I picked a really good Pokemon because I really haven't utilized Salamence in ways other than Moxie, Dragon Dance Moxie sets. So it'll definitely be fun to challenge myself to use this Pokemon in various different ways. And I'm excited for the potential that this Pokemon can hold. So let's just hope that I can utilize it well. So let's go on to the next pick. Okay, so I mentioned having a terrain setter. Well, here it is, Arboliva. If you guys have not watched my Believe in Arboliva video, you definitely should. I will leave a link in the description for that. This Pokemon is freaking nuts, guys. I love this Pokemon so much. So it has Seed Power, which I have utilized the most, but it also has Harvest, which could be very annoying with like Citrus Berry in the sun and Leech Seed stalling. This thing can be very annoying, and it has very good special defense and physical defense. So this thing can be just really freaking annoying. The speed is pretty good for like Trick Room based teams, so I will be slow and just hit really freaking hard with that 125 base special attack. So this is also one of my Terra Captains. Let me pull up the sheet here. So how Terra Captains work is that you have 15 points to spend on Terra Captains, and you have to have a minimum of 2, but you can spend up to 15 points. So you can have between 2 and 3 Pokemon depending on how you spend your points. So, but the thing is, you have to have 1 stab, and then the 2 have to be something else, any other type. So I obviously have the Grass Terra. I chose that over normal. to boost our grass moves in grassy terrain. So I think that was the best way to utilize that. We have ground type, which will really boost its earth powers, and then the fairy type, because this team lacks a fairy type currently. And so Dazzling Gleams will be very well boosted. So this Pokemon is just a very good Pokemon, very bulky, and hits really freaking hard, which I like. So yeah, so that was 4, 5, 6, my 7th round pick. So I was really happy about this one. This one I actually wasn't planning for, but it worked out really nice because I can utilize the Unburdened set with Sneasler with the terrain. So I'm happy with this pick. So let's go on to our 8th round pick. Okay, so 8th round pick was Donphan. I was feeling a little overwhelmed because I felt like my team didn't have enough bulk because I have too many like physical or like very offensive mons. So I wanted a spinner as well as a defensive Pokemon. So here we have Donphan. With Sturdy. I will not be utilizing Sandveil because we are banning abilities that deal with evasion to make things easy. So we have a physical wall with 120 base defense, solid 90 base HP. So this thing is pretty known for being physically defensive, but also hitting pretty hard too. So we have one of the designated spinners for the team, as well as another priority user with Ice Shard, which is going to be fun. So looking at the moveset, there's a lot of fun things I can do with this thing. It gets pretty decent coverage, and there's a bunch of text that I can use to run this. So yeah, basically just a spinner, priority user, and just a good ground type to be immune to those electric attacks. So yeah, not too much to say about this one. We'll just go on to the next pick. So as mentioned before, I got a little overwhelmed with the Salamence pick, and I felt overwhelmed here as well. So I originally had Weezing in, assuming I was going to have Zoroark to help with that psychic immunity, but after I didn't get him, I was like, ah, crap, I kind of scrambled. I needed another good wall, and just I wanted another poison type, basically. So I went with Weezing, and it ended up being a pretty good pick, even though it was kind of a panic pick, because we do have the grounded poison type aspect, so we can absorb toxic spikes if I don't have Sneasler. And the only way I can do it is if I run Neutralizing Gas, which Neutralizing Gas basically just eliminates all abilities on the field, other than like certain ones like Cork Drive and the other version of that. Those don't get affected by this, but it'll basically eliminate a lot of like useful abilities that some Pokemon are pretty reliant on. So I can switch this in on a Pokemon that's going to regenerate. It'll stop the regeneration, and they'll be at that health that they are currently at. So Neutralizing Gas is going to be really beneficial for this team. And then Levitate gives me a ground immunity. So if somebody's going to go for like an Earthquake on my Sneasler, boom, Weezing comes in. Nope, not happening today. We also have pretty solid like mixed attacking potential. Most sneezings, most Weezings, not sneezings, they run special sets, so like Sludge Bomb, Fire Blast, and all that. But he actually has higher attack, so that'll be fun to kind of utilize that. So we can explode on some people. We can hit them with special moves. Will-O-Wisp is going to be a fun option. Pain Split, Toxic Spikes. I think he gets Toxic Spikes. Either way, it's definitely a good bulky Pokemon on the physical side. So I am looking forward to using him. Yeah, basically just for abilities and being annoying. You can't really do too much else after that. So let's go into our second to last pick here. At this point in time, I really wanted a good water type. And after scanning through, I'm like, oh my gosh, how is Alomomola not drafted yet? Because the new tech for this Pokemon is Flip Turn Regenerator. That's fabulous, okay? So like you can get in, take a hit, have a slow flip turn and regenerate all the damage you just took. But where it gets even crazier is that it gets Wish. Wish, flip turn, you heal yourself, and then the slower Pokemon that gets brought in, boom, they get a Wish with 165 base HP Wish. So it's freaking nuts. Absolutely nuts. So I have good utility with this. Gets access to Scald, so I can cripple physical attackers. Yeah, Scald is very scarce, and this is one of the Pokemon that get it. So I'm really excited to use this freaking bulky of a Pokemon. Yeah, I have a lot of utility with this. So, and this is a Pokemon where it's just like, holy crap, it has 75 base attack and 40 special attack. What the heck is the deal with that? That's nuts. You would think it was equal or not that bad. So our Scalds are not going to be doing squat, but we're just going to be running that for burn chance. But this Pokemon's not meant for damage anyway. It's meant to take hits, get the heck out of there. So, yeah, we're not even going to go over Hydration and Healer because those are just going to be useless because Regenerator is just busted. So let's get into our last and final pick. Okay, so I messed up. I goofed. Post commentary here. Alomomola is actually one of my 3 Terra Captains as well. And so I wanted to share those Terra types with you. So we have Terra Water as one of them. And water is known to be one of the best defensive typings. Well, we went with the theme here. We have 2 of the other best defensive typings as our Terra types. We have Steel as one of them, and then Fairy as the other. So I have good utilization. I will have a Fairy type on the team if I Terastallize into it. Both Steel and Fairy are both going to be pretty good Terra types for this, I think, and very fitting for the team. Steel will give me some options to switch into with having the 2 ghost types, so I have easy switch-ins to get no damage on anybody. And then I have a lot of poison resist for the Fairy. And then, yeah, so I'll be pretty good there. Alright, so back to feeling panic again. I felt the need to get more hazard removal for the team, you know, because I didn't want to be super reliant on Donphan. And I think our only other option was Defog Cleavor, which is kind of contradictory because he sets up, you know, Stealth Rocks with his own attack. So we'd be clearing those away if we attack first. So I went with FURRET. I only had like 2 points left to spare. So we went with our little guy FURRET here. 2 abilities are absolutely useless, but it's Hidden, Frisk. It can be handy. Yeah, it can be handy. So you're probably wondering, how in the heck is this FURRET a hazard clear? Well, it gets access to Tidy Up. So Tidy Up boosts his speed, attack, and then clears the field of hazards. So he cleans up the field. So just imagine this little FURRET with a broom cleaning up the field because it looks a little dirty. So yeah, he's not going to be super crazy. Honestly, this was kind of just like a last minute pick, and I will most likely get rid of this Pokemon to help fill some holes in my team. But for now, at least week 1, we're going to have FURRET. So, yeah, that's basically the team. Okay, I goofed again. FURRET is also one of my Terra Captains here. And we obviously went with the normal Terra type. Ghost Terra type to be immune to its weakness. One and only weakness. And then Electric. I don't have any electric attackers, so we just get an electric Terra Blast. So, yeah, that's it. So, yeah, guys, that is the squad. That's what we're going to be running with. Like I mentioned, FURRET might not stay in the team. He's the only one that I'm very unsure of, and I need to fill certain gaps. So he's most likely going to be gone after week 1. But if you guys really, really, really want me to keep it, get this video to 50 likes, okay? Then I'll consider it, okay? So, like this video, 50 likes, we'll keep FURRET, all right? And then I'll make it work. But yeah, let me know how you thought that I did for my drafting. I'm super happy with it. And yeah, I'm excited to make some content out of it. January 1st, guys. And definitely go check out my second channel. That's where all the content for this league will be all in one place. Every weekly battle will be uploaded there. And then they'll also be uploaded on everybody's individual content creators' channels as well. And all that stuff will always be in the links in the descriptions. So definitely go check out them once those battles get rolling here too. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to comment and let me know how I did drafting, what you think of the team, and leave a like for FURRET. All right, guys. Peace.